Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to 91.7 KRTU. This is Listener Supported Radio. Right now, you're listening to the live and local show. We are united by Texas music, doing the same thing we do every week. We're talking to Texas artists. We are listening to Texas music, and we're joined by one of my favorites today, Mr. Zach Applebaum of Dolphin Dilemma. Zach, thanks so much for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I'm super stoked to be here.
Yeah, man. So, the world finally has Dolphin Dilemma tracks. The people have been waiting and you finally delivered. I know that seemed like it was a little bit of an arduous process for you, just kind of keeping up with you on social and stuff. So what was that like to finally let those go and have them out?
It was really intense. And yeah, it took a long time. But yeah, it was actually more intense than I was expecting. It was pretty cathartic actually to let go of those and like go through the process of recording it and producing the content for it and the art and actually sending it out. Because yeah, it took from beginning to end, it took 6 years to get my first release out with it. So
Wow.
yeah, and I recorded it twice. I recorded two iterations of the EP, totally different songs each time with actually like different equipment or levels of equipment. Um, but yeah, I did two whole EPs that I paid for and produced and worked on and then just didn't do anything with because I
And
just wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to do it. I didn't feel like it was good enough. But yeah, now it finally felt right. I always was insecure about that and about like kind of burying those two EPs and being unsure about putting them out. But now that I got this guy out, I kind of feel vindicated. I feel like it was right. Yeah, I feel like it wasn't it wasn't ready to come out. It wasn't what it should have been. And this time, what I have out is actually what it should be and what I'm happy with and what I want to have people really dig into. So yeah, I'm happy.
good, man. Well, that's great to hear. I know that I'm really enjoying it. I knew that you had been outperforming for a while, but 6 years, that is crazy. And there's so many people who like know Dolphin Dilemma, but there was no Dolphin Dilemma music for them to listen to on their computer. So I'm so happy that it's out now, man.
Yeah, no, and it was funny. I lied to people pretty much every year for like 3 or 4 years. I'd be at the beginning of the year, be like, "This is the year, guys. It's gonna come out. Don't worry." And then it just wouldn't come out. And I was trying. I was actually like I wanted it, and I was making EPs. But yeah, it was kind of it turned into a meme almost, where it was like, "Okay, this is where we're gonna do it." It's like,
Yeah.
really, you said that. But yeah, this year I don't think I said that, and then I did do it. So
Well, very
yeah.
cool, man. Again, congrats on the release. We are talking with Zach of Dolphin Dilemma. The new album is out. It's called Rough. It is everywhere. We're going to listen to some of it here pretty soon. Um, one thing I had in my notes, Zach, that I really wanted to talk to you about. So, you to me were almost like raised by the San Antonio music scene, right? Like, I think, you've been playing since you were what, like 14 or 15 years old, maybe even earlier than that. Can you just speak a little bit about what that was like, just kind of having come up from, young ages, like you're always playing music in Texas?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely was raised. That's definitely how I feel. That's a perfect way to put it. I was raised by the San Antonio music scene for sure. I started playing shows on Houston Street for no, not was it Houston Street? First Friday, whatever streets First Friday is on. I don't know why I can't feel confident in that answer right now, but yeah, I started playing there at the law offices of I can't remember that either right now, but I was playing on the front porch of a law office for First Friday when I was like 10 years old. And ever since then, we played probably 50 to 70 shows a year until I was like 22, most of them being in San Antonio. Um, and so I'm 25 now. But yeah, I mean, I met you guys when I was like 13 or 14 up in Fort Worth, Collective Dreams, Danny, uh, like that. And yeah, I don't know, the Mikey vibes when I was like 14, 15, going to the War Hall before it was the 1011, before it was Ventura. Um, and yeah, it's just been a long road. I feel like I've seen a lot of generations of different San Antonio bands come up and crash down. And move out, and I've seen all the different pathways that kind of like local projects take. And yeah, it's kind of interesting after 13, 14 years with my prior project, Verisimilitude, which is now done. I feel like after all that time doing all that and building this new project of my own, finally releasing this music as an adult in San Antonio with my own project, has kind of like, it's like that really all has come together really nicely. Like all that education, all that experience, watching all these people do it in different ways and support me and give me guidance, and going through, over a decade with a band and that falling eventually, and then taking all of that knowledge and now putting it into this release. It feels right. It feels good. I feel like I'm really ready to take this to the next level and take it seriously. And I'm waking up early now, finally. I'm going on runs,
Wow, dude.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting there, I'm getting there. It took 25 years, but I'm starting to see a path. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
so thank you.
And I know that I know that your brother's still supporting your artistic creativity and everything. So that's awesome to see. Of course, we're all big fans of Verisimilitude, but today we're talking about Dolphin Dilemma. The first time I saw Dolphin Dilemma, I believe was at Imagine Books and Records, and I know that you played a lot over there. So I wanted to see, now that Imagine Books has shut their doors, if you had anything that you'd like to share about that space or kind of the role that it played in your early creative process.
Yeah, that place was one of the more important places for sure. One of the most important places for Dolphin Dilemma, Verisimilitude, everything I've done. Dolphin Dilemma really was born at those shows. There was some earlier things I was doing, but when I really started performing very regularly and really making a more of a name for myself in town, it was at Imagine Books and Records. And Ezra became, really close. We're like pretty much best friends now. He's in the close circle, and we've worked together on so many things all throughout the years. And then his father and mother, Irma Hurd and Don Hurd, both just huge. I would call Don a mentor. He definitely was a mentor for a while to me. I actually worked nearby Imagine, and after work every day, I would go over and puff on a tobacco pipe with Don and just talk about life and philosophy and just shows and music and art and just everything, just gossip. We would just gossip together, and he'd tell me funny jokes. And so, yeah, that family, the Hurd family, Imagine Books and Records was and always will be just such a huge part of my journey as a musician in person, and just the whole city. So like they've influenced and they've made they really were like the kind of like fertilizer, and like they nurtured so much for the music scene here, and started so many projects were started there and had their first shows there. And I don't know, they're just amazing. I could talk forever about it. I'm probably not the best person to encapsulate how important they were, but they really were. They were the best. They were awesome. So yeah, I'm always going to support the Hurds. Everybody should always support them in anything they do. And I'm excited to see what that is. So yeah.
Very awesome. So without further ado, let's jump into the first track. This is House by Dolphin Dilemma. You're listening to listener supported 91.7 KRTU. This is the live and local show, Nothing But Texas Music. The song you just heard was House by Dolphin Dilemma. We are lucky enough to be joined by the man himself. So I know that you mentioned this is kind of like the third iteration of, putting this EP together, trashing it, doing it again. Were these songs on the first two, or is this like new stuff that you wrote and then put together for this new release?
So none of the songs are the same songs from the very first attempt. There is one of the songs, Life, it's a new iteration on this one. So it has some of the same materials, the same original like synth loop that it was built on, I used for this. But other than that, all the other songs, and even that song has been updated. So it's 99% or 95% new material. But yeah, I completely trashed the earlier stuff.
Got it. And so for those listening who might not be, as well versed in like gear and things like that, can you explain your setup a little bit, like you're explaining it to a lay person or like a stupid drummer?
Yeah, perfect. Yes, I'm good at this. So the first iteration, or then the still equipment that I use now, I started with just a what's called a loop pedal. It's the Boss RC300, which you guys don't need to know, but it's the loop pedal. So what you do is you click it, you start playing right when you click it. Everything you play it records, and you click it again and it loops it. Right. A lot of guitar players use it. They have versions for vocalists. So I decided to take, and we were using that for the band that I was in at the time. So I decided to take that one, put it on a stand, use it with my hands, and plug a synth into it. And I used a little microKORG synthesizer, which is like a keyboard that makes weird sounds, if you guys don't know. And then, I was just looping synth lines and layering synth lines on the loop pedal. And then I would use, to get the drums, I would use the default drums for the loop pedal, because it comes with like these drum patterns. So if you're practicing a guitar or bass and you want a rhythm section, it has these different rhythms that you can use, but you can't edit them, and they just loop, and it's just a simple thing. But one of the patterns is like this party 4 to the floor house beat. And so I just would use that. I use that and like an R&B beat, or a couple of versions of this R&B drum beat that they had, and I would just switch between those and like cut it off and bring it on. And I would gate the loops by like bringing them in and out, stopping and starting them while they're playing, to kind of make more rhythm and stuff. So that was it. I was just using a synth and a loop pedal to make like house music pretty much for like the first 3 or 4 years. And then I decided I took that as far as I could go, which was pretty limited. And then, so I decided I'm going to get my own drum machine. I'm going to get a mixer. And so I bought the newer version of the 808, TR-808 from Roland, which is like a drum machine. Marvin Gaye used it on like Sexual Healing. It's a super famous drum machine. If you know like 808s and trap or house music or dance music or hip hop music, you hear it everywhere. But I got that drum machine. I got a mixer, and then I used the same loop pedal and the same synth, and that kind of took it to the next level. And then, that's what I actually used for this EP. That was the next iteration, really. I did just the loop pedal and a synth for like 3 years, and then I upgraded with the drum machine. And then shortly after, I realized I need a mixer to have like a filter and some other stuff. And that's like the little orchestra machines I have. It's a little 4-piece. And now I've run that to the limit, and I'm going to kind of redo all the songs on the EP and start writing with a piece of equipment that'll give me even more capabilities, and I can make more rich and detailed music with. So that's like the next era coming. So I've slowly been building it up piece by piece, and they all communicate together, all these little machines, kind of one big computer. And it's fun. It's super fun.
Lots of fun, lots of gear. Now that you know a little bit about how it works, this peek behind the scene, let's listen to the song Sex by Dolphin Dilemma. You're listening to 91.7 KRTU listener supported radio. On the live and local show here Thursday from 10 to 11 p.m., we do nothing but listen to Texas music and talk to Texas artists. The song that you just heard was Sex by Dolphin Dilemma. If you are a Texas artist, or if your homies are, or if your uncle is, or your sister is, send us your music, live and local, KRTU at gmail.com. We would love to hear it, all types of stuff. But right now, we are lucky enough to be joined by Zach of Dolphin Dilemma, talking a little bit about gear, etc. before the break. And, Zach, you alluded to there's some more things on the horizon. So with this release, do you feel like you've gained a little bit of momentum? Will we have to wait 6 years for the next release, or will it maybe be a little bit sooner?
Oh, it's going to be a lot sooner. Yeah, I'm starting to wake up. I'm starting to schedule my days. I'm starting to schedule my months. I'm meeting my goals. My lifestyle has changed a lot. So no more 6 year waits, no more promises that are empty. You can count on a release in the first half of 2022. So another single. It's going to be a single. It's going to be a cover remix, kind of cover remix, like my own version of one of my favorite bands. So more information is going to come out. Follow me, to get more on that. But yeah, it's going to be within the first half of 2022. So stay tuned.
There's just enough information there, but to get you interested, but not enough to let you know what's going on. I really like it. You said something interesting there about, lifestyle change, just kind of putting yourself on a schedule. If I may, what kind of brought that about, and what benefits have you seen from that?
Well, what brought it about? So I don't know. I was in a big lull probably for a little. It started probably a little before the pandemic, and then the pandemic really got it in, and then it doubled down in the end of last year and the beginning of this year. December, January, February really hit a hard low, and then 4 months after that, got out of my 6 year relationship, and moved out. So it was just probably the worst time of my life, just maybe 5-6 months ago. And I moved out with my best friend downtown, had about a month where I, dealt with my emotions, probably in the less healthy way, not the best way, for about a month or so. And I just hit a wall where I couldn't be that person. I needed to make progress with what I originally needed to do. I kind of got reconnected with that. And something clicked. I don't know. I just hit a wall. I did not want to keep going down that path. I didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to do that. So luckily, I moved in with a really great friend of mine, and we both hit that wall together. And we both kind of were able to hunker down together and help each other start a better lifestyle and wake up early and do stuff. Shout out to Raul Rodriguez, Tryon Ray, Something Fiction, Expansions of Q, that guy. He's a great guy. Look all that up. But anyway, yeah. So I have a great, partner pretty much, and we're getting our stuff together, and it's working well. And I was able to do this release because of that, and kind of push it the way I want to and make it the way I want it. And I have this momentum. It's a new kind of spark for life and what I want to do. And yeah, that's pretty much how it came to be. So if anyone's struggling out there, just kind of keep going, reach out to the people that you love the most, and just wait it out and try, and it will change. Because I did not think I was going to be where I am right now 4 or 5 months ago at all. So just that.
Well, that's really beautiful, man. And thank you for sharing that with all of our listeners here. I know a lot of folks can relate to that. And on a personal note, man, I'm really happy to hear that, you're doing well. On a personal level, that's really great. And then for all Texas music enthusiasts, that's really great as well. With the rollout of the album, I saw that you went downtown and were doing some projection stuff. I think that's a really cool, unique approach to promo. Tell us a little bit about that and what gave you that idea.
Yeah. I think I watched a YouTube video. I forgot exactly where I saw it. I saw some video of someone either doing a prank or some promo thing, and they were projecting high powered projections onto random buildings and stuff. And they got confronted by the cops, but the cops there, at least, I'm sure they could have shut it down if they wanted to, but they were kind of this is a legal gray area. you're not trespassing, you're not technically vandalizing, and you're on public property. So like we can't really shut you down. So I thought like, okay, this is maybe something that's doable that I could do. I know I could rent a projector from somewhere and maybe do this. So I went for it. I planned it out, and yeah, we did a little campaign. It was a 7,000 lumens projector that we rented for the weekend, and we figured out how to. I bought an inverter for a car, and we figured out how to run it from my brother's truck battery. It was pretty risky, and it was super stressful because we couldn't figure it out for a while. Like
Pretty risky. Yeah, dude.
well, I think it was a really expensive piece of equipment, so that we were just taking out. It was I when we were doing it, I was realizing in the moment kind of how big of a risk I was taking. I didn't really think it through as much as I should, but it worked out. We did figure it out. We figured it out up to the last second. Like it really wasn't working. They kept pulling in too much power from the inverter, and we couldn't figure it out. And finally, we did. It ended up working. We went out to Aloho. Shout out to them. Thank you for letting us do that. We didn't really ask permission, but thank you so much. We went out to High Tones. I did actually end up talking to the owner there. He was really cool. We shot up there, and then we went down to the parking lot near Playland Pizza on Houston Street, and we hit up. We were gonna go to a little building next to the Towers of America and get like the money shot with the Tower of America behind it and everything. But there was the game we totally didn't remember. There was some sort of like sporting event yesterday in town, and that whole area was like shut down with the Alamo Dome. So I didn't get to do that. But yeah, it was super fun. There's gonna be a video coming out in the next week or so that I'm gonna use to promote and put an ad on, showing that experience. So yeah.
Killer, man. Well, it all worked out in the end, and it is totally yeah, dude, it looks really sick. I'm really looking forward to that video. And we've covered a lot of ground here today, and the music also all worked out in the end. I really dig your stuff. I know I have a lot of friends who do as well. So again, man, just congrats on the release. I'm glad to hear you're doing good. Where can all the folks of Texas keep up with you, to, check out videos that you're putting out or whatever new music you might have on the way?
Yes, so everything is just Dolphin Dilemma. If you look it up, no one else has that name, so it should pop up. But yeah, Instagram at Dolphin Dilemma is like the best place. It's where I'm most active. Twitter, Dolphin Dilemma. I think it's at Porpoise Party. And then Facebook, Dolphin Dilemma. YouTube, Dolphin Dilemma. And yeah, I'll be putting out my first music video for Night actually later next week. So yeah, check out my YouTube channel for that. And yeah, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. Yeah. And then yeah, it's streaming everywhere as well. The EP is out on Spotify, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, Apple Music, Tidal, all that stuff. So
Awesome. Well, we will leave you all with this track from Dolphin Dilemma. This is Night. Zach, thanks so much for joining us, man.
dude, thank you so much. It was great talking to you. Enjoy your night.